Coach D Magic, DB Network, coming to you with another breakdown. So you're here for some invert cover two that the Raiders are running. And I like doing NFL film. One, is easier to get a hold of versus college film for some reason. And they do a lot of different techniques that you may be able to bring to the high school or the college game. Now, the reason why their techniques are going to be different is because one, the hash marks are tighter, so there's more field. Unlike the high school, college hashes where you have a true boundary and a true field, you got to play a lot more space as a DB at the NFL level. The receivers are faster, the quarterbacks are better. So invert cover two. Before we do invert cover two, we have to first understand what cover two is. And I don't want to talk down to you guys, but a lot of people won't know. So we're going to take a look at this player right here. He is going to be our flat defender. All right. Flat defender pretty much means he wants to get hands on this guy, force him inside. So we want to force an inside release. All right. And because we only have one player here, we want to sync with that player. All right. So this is your chance to be aggressive when you have cover two, when you have one receiver. So get hands on this guy, collision, funnel him inside, and then we want to sync. If the running back were to get out to the flat in some way, then we would come downhill on the throw. All right, but we want to condense that space. We want to take him away. The reason why is because if we let this receiver get outside, then our cover two, our half safety, has to widen as well to protect that whole shot. All right, so if we have to get all the way here because he gets an outside release, then there's a lot of space open that this linebacker, and then since we're inverting, this corner would have to play. So that's why it's very important that we force him in. All right, so if we force him in right here, our safety can hang out somewhere around here, and then he can possibly help us back this way. We have the flat player. I identified the half player. You're going to have a hook defender. All right, so two hook defenders, and pretty much because he doesn't have anyone, he's going to drop right here. He's going to drop here. And then we have our middle runner. Our middle runner is going to open to the passing strength. All right, and he's looking to take away anything here. All right, so he has to be aware of these two potentially crossing, him going here, and then him trying to sneak by. And then since it's invert, the two players that are going to invert are these two. All right, so I believe this is a safety. All right, well, it has to be a safety. So safety and a corner. In a normal situation, he would come down, he would go back and get the half. But since we're going to invert, they're going to switch positions. So now he's going to buzz to the flat, and then he's going to drop to the half. Let's take a look at how this plays out, and then we're going to coach him up here. So remember when I said that we want to get this guy inside? Look what happens. So we do a good job disguising. Looks like we're playing off coverage. And then we're going to come downhill 5 yards, and we're going to look to collision. So you want to shuffle. All right, shuffle here, shuffle here. But we want to force him inside. Right now, we're outside leverage. So we're coming down outside leverage like we should. But once the receiver declares outside here, we don't work our feet. You see how we reach, but again, I'm nitpicking, but it does matter. So we get hands on, so the receiver is still able to escape outside. Now we do a good job of staying with him here because there's nothing else. There's no running back to the flat. So we should do a good job of moving with them, and then we're going to flip our hips and zone turn here. But like I said, this guy has to adjust his angle based on whether you get him inside or outside. Because we don't force him inside, we have to widen even longer as a half defender to protect this whole shot. Now imagine if we get this guy to run inside. All right, he'd probably be somewhere around here. Our safety can hang out somewhere around here. It's a huge difference. It doesn't seem like much, but in my opinion, it's a huge difference. Let's take a look here. So right now it looks like they could possibly be in a cover one, man free, some type of cover three. So he is going to buzz to the flat. Buzz meaning he's just going to work in a straight line to the flat. He's not doing what he's doing here, where he's collision, funnel, sink. He's just going to buzz to the flat. He's going to take the first thing to the flat. All right. Even though there is no route to the flat, because number 3 turns right here, that's where we're judging that as if it's an out route. All right. So when he runs the out and up, we have to carry that. There's going to be no one else there. All right. We don't have to get hands on because he's coming from a number 3 position. All right. So we're taking away the flat initially, but then we have to hinge meaning zone turn. All right. And carry this. All right. So he notices that the quarterback is kind of in trouble, not looking his way. So he lets the guy get by him, but I would have better eye discipline here, or just better discipline here and keep sinking, because the quarterback's out of the pocket right now. If he lobs it over his head, he's wide open. I don't know if you really call this a mistake, but this is a hole I see. Obviously, it's 3rd and short, so he's thinking scramble, I need to help here, but no, that's the hook defender. Look at the corners technique. He's playing off, so if you do get some type of invert coverage as a corner, play about 8 yards. So you're usually 7, play about 8. Maybe start creeping out. They're not really going to notice, but he's going to get out of there into his crossover. He has good depth. He's deeper than the deepest. He has vision on receivers and the quarterback. I would suggest squaring up, only because if the receiver runs anything outbreaking, we may have to speed turn, or even if we don't speed turn, I think it just makes our job harder to react this way. We can still react on the post, but they play it differently. I would kind of teach my guys to square up. But again, the speed's different. The quarterback arm strength is different. And they might be expecting post from this trip. So who knows? But I would square my guy up so he can play both ways. Does a good job of having vision on the post, and he has to run with this. He has to run with the post. So make sure you're inside of the post. All right. So invert. We don't want to be on the outside. We got to be on the inside. Take away the post. We should have the corner carrying the corner route or carrying anything vertical outside. We should have time to get to that with good vision, good pad level. And again, notice how there's a dead spot here. All right. So safety does a good job, or the corner who's playing the deep half does a good job of having vision again, coming off of this and eventually working here. Not to nitpick, I do like the buzz. I do like that we do start to sink. I would just rather you be right here. I'd rather you be right here. But good play.